Marvin Harrison's ripped. He's ready to rumble. People don't know what's coming. Marvin Harrison Jr. is looking like a savage right now. Let me put up MHJ's photo. Look at this beast. He has been in the gym getting absolutely shredded. And everybody that's going to doubt him walking into this upcoming 2025 fantasy football season is going to be sorry. They're going to be ashamed of themselves. Their mom's going to be ashamed of themselves. Their moms will be ashamed of themselves about their son being a doubter of MHJ. Third round value baked in. Risk is baked into that round 3. Who the hell is going to pass on MHJ in round 3? Not on my watch. The Fantasy Football Show begins now. JSN, Chubb, McLaurin, MHJ, do it live.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So we're live here. We're live whenever news breaks. We're live whenever MHJ photos emerge like this, where he's just absolutely shredded. He's coming for everybody. And I know a lot of people are gonna, I don't know. They're gonna think that this guy is gonna bust on him because he only had 808 last year. It pisses a lot of people off. I get it. I understand what time it is. I get that, you know, when a player disappoints greatly the season prior, it's easy for everybody to jump ship or to think that things can't turn around. It's very easy to take MHJ and say, oh yeah, Genty's a little bit risky at number 8 overall because MHJ busted. It's really easy to go, oh, JD5 is going to have a bad second year, sophomore slump because Stroud had a sophomore slump. The thing we got to be careful, the thing we got to be very, very careful with in fantasy football is trying to tie one player too closely to another. To try and suggest that MHJ can't have a different sophomore year because he struggled is crazy. It's madness to literally tie him to last year, or to suggest because Neighbors did it this way, because BTJ did it this way, that MHJ, who had 8 touchdowns last year, can't turn it around this year. Some of it had to do with Kyler. Some of it had to do with play calling. Some of it had to do with MHJ not picking up the game as quickly as he could have, should have. I get it. All of us are upset over MHJ's disappointing 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. But as we've said multiple times this year, there are 2, and you could play this game with anybody, but not so much the way I'm about to play it. You could literally identify 2, maybe 2 or 3 plays where MHJ was wide open running downfield and Kyler, and the play calling didn't, prescribe that it was going to go to MHJ. So they went another direction. It was a design play. MHJ was running downfield wide open. A 60-yard touchdown, 50-yard touchdown. Had you just included about 3 of those plays that were blatant 40, 50-yard touchdowns that Kyler either 1 missed through, 2 completely didn't even look in his direction when he was wide open running downfield. You include those 3 plays that you could easily identify. This man had 1,000 yards and 11 TDs. 1,000 yards and 11 TDs. He was 3 plays away from that happening. Again, easy game to play with every different player, right? But there are so many individual situations where you can identify this was a wide open touchdown that Kyler missed on him. This was not even looked at. They didn't even look in MHJ's direction. There was one play last year. He's running downfield. He throws his arm up. There's not a defender within 30 yards of him. The cameraman zoomed out, and there's still no defender near MHJ, and Kyler didn't even look in his direction. Now, you could say, Smitty, well, that's the problem. I don't believe in Kyler. I think they're going to rinse and repeat on making MHJ a non-existent entity inside round number 3. But here's where I think you would be grossly mistaken, and you're going to be ashamed of yourself, and your mom's going to be ashamed of you, and your mom's going to be ashamed of herself because she's ashamed of you. Third-hand embarrassment is that it really is baked in. You know what I mean? Like, do you think he's not going to have 1,000 yards and let's just call it 10 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns? So same season, just maybe clicks a little sooner. So maybe he has the same exact season, 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns instead of 8 and 8. Does anybody not understand that that is third round value? I mean, MHJ is going to sleepwalk into 1,000 yards and 9 to 10 touchdowns. That is if he disappoints greatly. You're no longer spending number 10, 11, 12 value for MHJ. You're unfortunately living in the past, and you're answering a question of whether he's worth it today at today's cost of entry when you're remembering tomorrow's price tag. You need to realize you need to walk out of the room, close the door, take a deep breath, walk back in, re-examine the situation from a new lens and go, okay, MHJ mid to late third round, almost fourth round value, he could sleepwalk into 10 touchdowns, and even if it was 9 and 1,000 yards. You got to understand it's a completely different scenario. Not to mention, it was very evident and very well known and very stated within the organization through Kyler, through Gannon, through the coaching staff, and through MHJ himself that the game didn't slow down and click for him until midseason. It just didn't. And he wasn't this ripped. He wasn't this ready. He's the first one in and the last person to clock out. This is the hardest working wide receiver maybe in the entire National Football League. There's a couple variables that if you're going to ignore MHJ based on last year's disappointment, you're going to be left behind. Because he works harder than anybody. He's got the best pedigree you could possibly hand a player. He's got the most drive and determination out of any wide receiver you could probably find. There might be a receiver or two that work as hard as him, but he's in that class of equals. There's maybe a handful of players that you can say work harder than every other player in the game. MHJ is one of those players. So pedigree, he's got the bloodline. He's got the tenacity, the grit, the hardworking behavior, the habits, the ability to make sure he's learning every step of the way. He's hungry for it. He's a step ahead of everybody in terms of the mental preparedness. It just didn't click for him until midseason. And now he's got the size. That's three different things that are added to the equation and his cost of entry for someone tell me the downside. You could call in right now and say, Smitty, I don't trust Kyler, but we didn't trust Kyler last year, and he had 808 without things clicking, without being this ripped, without being more experienced, without a lot of things. So tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me how he's not going to explode from third round value when you have all of these positives and you have a cost of entry that is 32, 35, 36, 31. It's somewhere in the 31 to 36 territory overall instead of paying 11, 10, 12, 13 overall value. Somebody tell me where I'm wrong. Someone tell me where I'm wrong. I don't know how I can be. Unless he gets injured, he will earn you in a disappointing season. He will earn you third round value. And he's absolutely shredded. Does anybody think this is going to be a player that's going to have trouble separating? Does this look like a wide receiver that is going to have a tough time with a jump ball 50-50 scenario? Does anybody think that this guy's not going to have a quick and decisive cutting ability and capability to get open and get off the line of scrimmage? Does anybody think that his determination to be the first one clocked in and the last one clocked out on the field on practice, every practice, game in, game out, practice in, practice out, does anybody think that's not going to translate? Because my phone line will be open in a minute and I'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear where we went wrong. Where did we go wrong? Where is my MHJ video when I need it? I'm looking. I think I have it here somewhere. Here.
Hi. What would you like?
Footballs, please. Lots of footballs, please.
Coming up.
He's Marvin, he's 11 feet tall, and he loves to consume the football. He's Kyler, he's 4 feet tall, but Star and Marvin will answer the call. They're Kyler and Marvin.
So you can do what you want. I can scream so loud. You know what I mean? I can only scream so loud. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. There's not much I'm going to really care that much about it. If the true people that are open-minded about MHJ's value, that's the best I can do. You know, I'll keep screaming it, but I'm not losing sleep over people wanting to doubt Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3rd round ADP. He's going to sleepwalk into that value. I don't need to help anybody. I don't care to help anybody. It is what it is. It is what it is. Jalen Wright said he's in better shape than his rookie year. You know what that means?
Stock on the rise.
It also means that Achane is going to eat because Achane needs to get back to wide back duties. Achane was a wide back. Miami Mike McDaniel architected in San Francisco when he was over there the wide back role. What's the wide back role? That's a wide receiver playing running back essentially from the line of scrimmage. And Achane is the inverse version that Mike McDaniel cooked up in Miami. When everybody thought it was going to be Tyreek Hill, even I was wondering who would play this role. Probably going to be a combination of guys, but more so Tyreek Hill. Mike McDaniel said, no, you guys don't know what's coming. I am making Devon Achane a wide back, inverse style, and Achane goes to the moon when he's used like Gibbs and Breece Hall, not used like Derrick Henry. And even though he was used like Derrick Henry last year, he still produced top 5-6 running back numbers depending on league scoring. Top 5 to 7 running back numbers. Achane goes to planet Jupiter.
To Jupiter.
If he's put back into his original role. And Achane is going to eat all of the spinach in your vicinity. I hope that you stocked up because the truckloads of spinach that are falling off trucks right now.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
Bring it over, boys. Bring it over, boys. 2nd round ADP. Do you know? Keep going. Bring it down. Don't be all gentle on the guy. The guy did not get hurt last year. Slam him down. Do you know that this man was able to become a between-the-tackle running back, did not get hurt, yet people said, oh, Smitty, he's going to get injured. He's too small. I know you like Achane. It's so funny. He's never going to last. He played 17 games? Okay. I'll go ahead and scatter like a cockroach. All you Achane haters, where are you at now? Where are you at now? Nowhere. Nobody calls in and doubts Achane anymore. No one just types in a message, oh, Achane's going to bust. Everybody that doubted Achane is scattered like a cockroach. And we told you over on this channel. We told you. We told we were cooking with Achane.
Let him cook.
We told you all about Achane. Achane has been allowing us to live like kings ever since. Your boy Smitty been sitting at the throne, the Achane throne, the Kyron throne, and now the Bucky Irving throne.
Get buckied. 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 Oh, Bucky.
Yeah.
My keyboard needs to be charged. Get Buckied, get Achane, get Travis Huntered, get H and Associates on your side. Get Triple H, baby.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
More locations to come. Saturn, the moon, wherever you need a Mars, they'll show up. This will be worn whenever we need to take a victory lap going forward. I've got another thing. We need to have like a drum set in here so that when we're hitting something, your boy Smitty can just pound the drums. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Wright is in better shape than he was as a rookie. That's fantastic news, and he's going to be a baller this season. This right here, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, according to Diana Rossini, report that the Falcons are expected to have Kirk Cousins report to mandatory minicamp. He's always kind of a team player. He wants to be traded, but there's no room for him anywhere. Where is he going to go? Where's he going to go? Steelers are out. New Orleans doesn't want him. They'd take him for free. He's probably staying in Atlanta until somebody either gets hurt or he just stays as a backup because they already paid him. His guaranteed money is guaranteed money. So, like, what more are they going to do? By the way, have you seen this? Have you seen this?
You've just been Smitty approved.
Just making sure that we'll remind you every few minutes. You MHJ doubters you're going to be real upset this year. You're going to be quite upset this year. Anthony Richardson's upset and his owners are upset. And look, the whole world missed on him. I know some people didn't love him as much as others, and kudos to those people, and there was certainly some excitement about what will happen this past season. But it looks like he's already being considered. They're saying no surgery, but being considered for another surgery. It sounds like his shoulder shouldn't be still sore, and the ways that he's moving it, still getting pain, are alarming. And so he's going to be seeking another opinion from a surgeon. You don't get another opinion from a surgeon if things are good. Now, could the opinion be just hang tight? Because you seek a second opinion to either get a new diagnosis that you like better, so you can be selective, or just a double confirm. And if you get a double confirm, then you know you need surgery. This is not good. And so this guy's done. I don't think they turn him into a running back. He'll probably get hurt. But he's done. I mean, and Danny Dimes, what are they thinking? Indy's toast. Indy is toast. What do I have for Indy's record? Did I even do? I don't know if I did the South yet. Did I? I don't think I did the AFC South yet. Let me see if I did. I don't know if I have. I don't have a button for it, so I'm searching on my playlist for it. I don't think I did the AFC South yet. Did I? Maybe I did. No, I didn't. I didn't do the FC South yet. Colts are going to win 4 or 5 games. I'm sorry if you're a Colts fan. You're going to win 4 or 5 games. This team is going to be trash. You've got Danny Dimes as your QB. AR5's looking at another surgery. It sounds like that's at least what they're trying to sugarcoat it right now. but this is going to be an awful year. Stay away from JT. Stay away from everybody but maybe Tyler Warren, because they're just going to have design plays for him. But the Colts are going to have a trash of a season. It's going to be awful. They're going to be in contention for a bottom 5 pick. They might be in contention for the number 1 overall pick. This is going to be a horrible year. If you're a Colts fan, buckle up. Buckle up. We've got, I think this was the Nick Chubb news. Nick Chubb signed a 1-year deal with the Texans. This is not good for our boy Woody Marks, who did make the preemptive week 1 waiver wire show, by the way. Go watch that video. That video is up. He did make it, but he would have ranked higher if Nick Chubb didn't sign, because Woody Marks had a lot of sleeper appeal behind an old man Mixon that fell flat on his face at the end of the year, and I don't think it's going to have some sort of bounce back season, Joe Mixon. So I still like Woody Marks, but he definitely plummets a little bit with Nick Chubb there to crowd up things, be a veteran presence. They could turn to Nick Chubb before they turn to Marks, so that's kind of the thinking as to why Marks does get stunted a little bit growth-wise. That's kind of why you might want to turn away from that situation. We have, let's see, Nick Chubb. We did this one right here. Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt, my boy. Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt, midseason monster. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Rashard Smith, Milroe, Garendo, James, Mason, Sharps, Tootin Bigsby, Davis, and Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt. Little Bill, they call him. Little Bill is going to have quite a year. Bill is a nice player. And he's in a very good situation in Washington where you've got someone ahead of him, right? You've got a potential a situation that might make it hard for Merritt to get the role right away, although you never know. But it's certainly not a big obstacle, Brian Robinson Jr., standing in the way of JCM if JCM Little Bill, a.k.a. Little Bill Merritt, Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt, however you want to nickname him. This is a pretty clear path. Very clear path, in my opinion. So I'm loving the Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt, the Bill value, Little Bill to the moon. The man might get you some Bills, some Benjamins this year. Cooper Kupp, according to a Seattle podcast, so take it with a grain of salt. The Athletic is... Oh, actually, this is The Athletic. Mike... the Athletic writer was speaking on a Seattle podcast, so forgive me. It's still really hard to cover Cooper Kupp, he said, when he's lined up in the slot. And on that note, lining up in the slot, like, okay, is he going to line up in the slot? How much slot will he play? We've got a little news. Oh, we'll get to that Mixon news in a second. Let me put that right there. I think it's right here. Nope, that's right here. We'll get to that in a second. The McLaurin news. Maybe it's right here. No, that's the Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt news. Anyway, we got news that let me see if I can find it, but that JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, is probably playing on the perimeter this year more than anybody expected. And I don't want to say wants, because he's still so good. So we got 2 pieces of news here coming out of Seattle, the 2 wide receivers. So it sounds like Cooper Kupp will play a little more slot than anything. Probably mostly because he's slowing down, and you can still be very effective from the slot at an older age, especially when you're a technician like Cooper Kupp is, and that was kind of your specialty, is the route running, the intelligence. If he's healthy enough, he can still be kind of dangerous. JSN will still float around, but he'll play more on the perimeter, which I don't think is going to knock him down. He's played good perimeter ball and good slot ball, and he's going to be sliding all around the field. Like, so what's the big deal? I think people that think this is bad for JSN, oh, he's better in the slot. I mean, he's going to play slot. They're gonna make a whole lot of noise. Keep in mind that they might have a lot of 2 wide receiver sets at times. Sounds like they want to run some good 3 wide receiver sets on a somewhat regular basis when they're talking about slot position. But if they don't run 3 wide receiver sets, Kupp may even be off the field, but he's older, so they're going to maybe keep him, fresh. But it makes sense that JSN will be in the slot at times, but it also makes sense that he won't necessarily play that full-time role because they might run a lot of 2 wide receiver sets. So he's going to be in the perimeter position a lot. But I think JSN could have a top 7 wide receiver season this year. I mean, he did last year. So it's not even that like bold to say that. Terry McLaurin, contract situation, according to another podcast, and The Athletic was speaking on it. General consensus is among his sources within the Washington Commander organization is that a deal will get done between McLaurin and the Commanders. And I fully believe that. I'd almost say it's a 99.999999% chance that this gets done, because that's the way they operate in Washington. I think Adam Peters watching the Niners blow the offseason year after year after year, you know, is something he knows. He's so smart. He's seen mistakes made. When mistakes are made, he doesn't like to repeat them. He's so calculated and intelligent as a GM. You could honestly say that Howie and Adam Peters are by far and away the two best GMs in football. Howie and Adam Peters are the two best GMs in football. And they're going to get this deal done. This will not be I don't think this will be a problem. It could linger a little bit, but I don't think it'll be a problem. And it might even be one of those things where they're so confident and positive with Terry about it that Scary Terry doesn't like sit out. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks, but I don't think this will be a concern at all. Joe Mixon, don't draft him this year. I know we weren't super high on him last year, and that's on me, because it's not like he failed. Exactly what I said would happen happened at the end of the day. But if I'm being more strategic and hard on myself about my Joe Mixon take that he would leave you hanging and you would lose your league if you drafted and expected it to happen. At the end of the day, he was such a decent value on draft day that you could have sold him, drafted him, played it out for a while, and then sold him, you know, week 9, week 10, week 8, and benefited greatly. So I can't say I was a total win last year on the Mixon call because of that front that I did not, you know, cover. So that's on me. And there are some ways to look at this as a learning situation and say, like, Barkley's not in a void. But if you do draft him, strongly consider trading him by double-digit weeks. Why, you might ask? Why is he saying to trade Saquon Barkley? Is he crazy? 430-plus carries last year. 470-plus total touches last year. That's why. 371 is the number that running backs, literally their careers are over about 80, I'd say 75 to 80% of the time. Whenever a running back reaches 371, it's called the 371 curse for a reason. I didn't make it up. This has been there for decades. This has been almost 20 years going, that when a running back hits 371 carries in a single season, and again, Barkley hit 430. It's crazy. So much more than 371. When running backs hit 371, I'm going to say at least 70% is a very safe estimate because I don't have the numbers in front of me. 70% of them are never the same player ever again. Not to mention that year coming out of the situation, but they're never the same player again. It's a career ender. And I'm not saying Barkley can't overcome that, and I'm saying he will to a degree, but when you hit double-digit weeks, you might want to sell him, because I think that the lesson learned here can be applied there. If Derrick Henry has a great start, and the good thing about Derrick Henry and Saquon is neither one of them have declined from last year's play. So it's not like they're walking out like Todd Gurley did from that Super Bowl appearance. They didn't play him. They made up lies that they forgot to use him, and I could tell that he was declining. And I came out swinging that offseason. The only analyst you could find that was saying, don't go near Todd Gurley. And everyone's like, he's the number 1 pick still, the number 2 pick still. And I made the commercial. It was the year my channel launched. And it was the no Todd Gurley. We don't see that with Barkley and Henry. Barkley and Henry don't have signs of decline yet. So therefore, they're not in a void. They're a good sell high candidate by double-digit weeks if you're trying to play the smart game. You don't have to play that game, but that would be the smart game. And that's all the news right now. Make sure you get on over to the waiver wire video later on tonight if you missed it. We're not ending the show. We're going to open phone lines right now. But go ahead and review the Week 1 preemptive waiver wire running back edition show, where we're trying to have you get the player that everybody's going to be scrambling to get after Week 1. I want you to have that player on your roster before Week 1 kicks off, so that people scramble and go, oh my God, I can't believe did somebody pick this guy up? What are we doing here? How do you know about him? That's what these shows are for. The preemptive waiver wire show. That's what it's for. Go check it out. It is up on the channel, but check it out after this video. We have a 586 caller on the phone line. Let me just real quickly, I might not be able to hear you. Let me just check and see if the phone lines are fixed and see if I can hear you. Are you there, pal?
Yes, I am. What's up?
What's up, my broski? What can I do for you? You're live. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Matt, calling from Michigan.
Matt from Michigan. What can I do for you, Matty?
All right, Smitty, a couple days ago, I called you talking about my Dynasty team, and you kind of helped me out. We were talking about who to take as my next pick, and you were suggesting Xavier Worthy. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I kind of, yeah.
Great. Well, I traded up to get a pick, and unfortunately, the guy right before me took Worthy, and so I'm kind of in a predicament, and I figured, why not ask Smitty with who's on the board, what two wide receivers? You kind of said if Evans is there, if Adams is there, but I'd rather just let you tell me your thoughts.
So refresh my memory. Who were your picks so far? And you're on the clock in round 4 or 5?
We're on the clock in round 7.
Round 7, okay. So on the clock in round 7. So round 7. Give me your round 1, give me all your guys in order. In order.
Yep. All right. In order, we went Josh Allen, number 1.
And this is super flex, obviously. Okay, Josh Allen.
Super flex, tight end premium.
Gotcha.
Sam Laporta, number 2.
Laporta.
Garrett Wilson, number 3.
G. Willie.
Bucky Irving, number 4.
Get buckied. Okay.
Yes, sir. Then we went Herbert, 5.
Herbs. Yeah, I remember this team a lot more now. Okay, Herbs.
Yep.
Good.
And then Harvey as well. Both of them I got in the 5th round because I traded up.
Get buckied.
And then after Harvey, I took Chase Brown.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Okay, so hold on. Now you're showing off. Now you're just showing off. Harvey, actually, let me go back to the screen. Harvey and Chase Brown. Jeez, bro. Do these grandmas have pulses, or are half these young ladies in comas at the local nursing home? Okay.
I don't know, man.
Okay, so you got Josh Allen, Laporta, Garrett Wilson, Bucky, Herbert, Superflex, tight end premium, Harvey, Chase Brown, and on the clock right now.
Correct. And the 7-7, they took Worthy. I traded up to get the 7-8.
That's okay. Who is available on the board right now? I'm assuming Hunter's gone, right?
Yep, Hunter's gone. You want me to tell you wide receivers?
Hendy's gone?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and give me all the RBs. Just keep reading them off until I say stop. Go.
Okay. All right, running backs. Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Caleb Johnson, Montgomery, Pacheco, DeAndre Swift, James Conner, Etienne, Scattaboo, Brian Robinson. We're kind of in that ADP right there.
Yeah. So I don't really love these RBs. You're already really good with your 3 RBs anyway. So I just wrote Kamara's name down in case we need to compare. Okay, hit me with the wide receivers that are available.
All right. So from top to bottom, we have Zay Flowers, DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, Chris Olave, George Pickens, Addison, J-Mo, Waddle, Egbuka, Devontae Adams. That's kind of where we're at.
Adams, Waddle, Egbuka. DK's kind of nice because he's the best combination of now and future. It's pretty good. All right, what tight ends are available?
All the good ones are gone. We have Loveland, the rookie, and then Mark Andrews, Kincaid, Kelsey.
Man, that's a tough one. And quarterbacks, just hit me with the quarterbacks real quick. Who's available? Is Dak still there? I think I remember you telling me about, or no?
Yes. Dak is there. T-Law is there. Purdy's there. Penix, Fields.
Dak, man, Penix. The only reason I'm even thinking, quarterback, I'm not necessarily going to go that direction, but because you could trade, you're probably going to be able to trade one of these quarterbacks for a better receiver or running back that's on the board now available. If your league is very trade, friendly. If it's trade friendly, You could
Seems like it. They've traded a ton for picks.
I mean,
a lot of guys have been.
You
trading
could take
picks.
Penix or Dak with the seasons they're about to have, and you could turn that into a much better player. Not to mention, don't you think at least one or two of these guys will be available at the next pick?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I'm thinking QB here, bro.
I don't know about the receivers. I don't know if like Mike Evans or Metcalf are going to be there.
What about Adams?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't know. These guys are weird. Like one guy drafted Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas, A.J. Brown, and Worthy. Like, I don't know. You know, they're not taking quarterbacks or tight ends.
So I'm gonna narrow it down to the quarterbacks, DK, and Adams, and Ibuka. So DK, Adams, Evans, and Ibuka.
And I have the 8-5 pick. I'm at the 7-8 because I traded to get the 8-5. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks, I'm back on the clock and I can get another one.
Guys, are you with me on? So I don't mind Adams here. Because you have Garrett Wilson, you have no other wide receiver, right?
Yeah, and I would like to take one for sure.
Okay, man, I just hate the idea of passing on a QB here because I think you could trade the quarterback for a better wide receiver than you're about to draft. But then again, you're so loaded for the future, and Adams could give you 2 years. Evans, I feel like he could, but I feel like Adams could give 2 years a little bit easier. DK's nice. He's a nice combination of everything, but with the change out next year in quarterback or mid-season, it's just Ibuka I love. So part of me really wants to say, put our balls to the wall, money where your mouth is, Ibuka, but Adams is nice.
Can I ask you a question about Tampa?
Yeah.
Are you what are your thoughts on Evans, Godwin coming back, Ibuka coming into this, and McMillan and all of that? What are your thoughts with the ball getting spread around? And
Smitty, my girl just told me to turn the show off because she's tired of hearing Hunter's name. Hold on one second. Hold that thought, bro. Tell her I'm good. Turn it up. Tell her I'm sorry. Here's my apology.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA select start.
Warning, warning. Cheat code activated.
Hunter! 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 No one tells me what to do. Hunter! Travis Hunter! Travis! Travis H! Hunter! Travis Hunter! 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 Travis Hunter! You're lucky I'm in a good mood right now. I could go... OCD that is embedded in my genetic DNA would allow me to do this for hours. I could go hours. I want to go hours. Hunter! Hunter! Travis Hunter! 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 Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter. Okay, I'm sorry. Who am I talking to again?
It's Matt with the Dynasty, the Superflex team.
Okay, Matt, sorry.
Sorry, you're cracking me up. It's all good. Your thoughts on Tampa and all those receivers?
Yeah, let's. So my thoughts on that are, man, look, Ibuka, in my opinion, is going to be the #1 drafted wide receiver in Tampa Bay in fantasy football 1 year from today. 1 year from today. Chat, should we go Ibuka? And then if Evans is still there at the next pick, you grab both of them? Baker can support that. Godwin's an injury-prone older player. I'm not too worried about it. I think Igbuka's the real deal. Plus, keep in mind, Igbuka played in the most crowded wide receiver room in wide receiver rooms that you could find. This guy knows what he's doing, bro. Emeka Igbuka played at Ohio State alongside of several wide receivers, including Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jeremiah Smith. He's been on the field with these guys. He knows how to mingle with elite wide receivers in confusing wide receiver rooms and float around. He's such a rover. That's why they brought him in. I'm going to say...
Well, I wonder if I go Adams here and then Igbuka at the 8-5.
You think Igbuka falls?
I think so. His ADP's 85, and I think so. There's quite a few receivers still on the board. Guys still need to take their QB2.
Go ahead, Travis.
I was just going to say, how far will Jack Penix and Fields fall as well? Like, will they fall 2 more rounds, or do you have to grab them next round or 2?
Dak might fall to the 9-10 and the 10-1 turn where I have it because I have the first pick, especially because he's questionable, and I think a lot of the guys in my league saw what happened in Dallas last year, and they don't believe in this year, and they're just haters on it. So I think he could definitely slip.
Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong here. I mean, Adams is great, bro. I mean, Adams helps you win the championship. Let's just put it that way. But Igbuka, you're going to get a little bit lesser value because he probably won't be fully unlocked until mid-season or whatever. He could. You never know. But it's such a good long-term situation to have versus Adams, and I love Igbuka. So if you think...
seems like Penix and Igbuka.
Yeah, Penix and Igbuka. Do they like Igbuka before Penix or Penix before Igbuka, though? Because he's got to make a call here.
Yeah, I know.
Which one's more projected to go higher, Penix Jr. or Igbuka?
Let's see. Let me go to the all tab and look at them. Let's see.
Tough one, bro. I'm gonna probably have to wrap this up though. But yeah, I'd probably say you're not in.
Igbuka's gonna go before Penix. But
yeah, but that
actually no, he's gonna go after him.
That's all overall though. People are gonna sort by QB. How is Penix the second or third quarterback ranked in the pre-rank?
On the board out of QBs right now? He's the 4th because we got Purdy, Lawrence, Prescott in front of him.
Lawrence, Prescott.
He's going to slip. People are not going to take Penix.
Go Igbuka, and then if Penix is gone, you're going to consider Fields or Dak for sure. But you're just going to have to play that out and see how you feel about if Adams is there, or do you go Evans with Igbuka that will really cover you this year. I think Evans Igbuka is pretty damn safe to go with Garrett Wilson, considering your RB stable. And all these Travis Hunters you got on your team right here, your team is loaded.
Thanks, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate it.
Go Igbuka first.
I would.
And then Adams.
I would.
Great.
All right, bro.
All right. Appreciate it. Bye.
Call in tomorrow when you're on the clock. Maybe we'll go over it again. All right, Travis, what else you got?
Yeah.
I think Hunter was the pick.
Yeah, right. It's either... If he wants to go for it this year, go Adams. But aside from that, it's Igbuka.
I mean, he could still go for it.
Maybe something.
But yeah, if you want to he'll hammer home this year.
Right.
But yeah, I think Igbuka is. I'm going Igbuka. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I like Adams a lot though. But he, what if he falls off mid-season? I mean, it's possible. Ziggy. How old is Devontae Adams? He's 31.
Something like that.
Adams is 32 years
32,
old.
I'm sorry.
Born December 24th.
Oh, he turns 33 in December. Yeah, bro, if you're still listening, as much as I want to say, Ziggy off, as much as I want to say Adams, because he is turning 33 in December, bro. That is, the likelihood of him balding in December is possible, but it's really, really tough to imagine. I want to say Igbuka all the way.
Me too, because you're looking at a 1-year investment at the most. I mean, that you can count on. Whereas Igbuka, he could be a number 1 wide receiver for the next 5 years.
Yeah, more than that. All right, Drake.
Yeah, for sure.
Drake May's ready to go this year. He might be. Human Ziggy, he might be, my boy. He might be. All right, let me hit guys phone line. Dial in. Here's the phone number.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Devontae Adams is built different. Bro, this is not a thing. People want it to be a thing. It's not a thing. I know you got Devontae in 8 leagues, but he's not built any different than the other elite wide receivers that can't play well at 33 years of age. Ziggy, how old is Mike Evans?
Mike Evans is 31 years old and was born on August 21st, 1990.
He turns 32. Adams turns 33. So you're talking about like Evans might have one more year left, and then we're saying goodbye to him. And Adams is, or I'm sorry, yeah, Evans has one more year left, and we're saying bye to him. And we're lucky if we get that. Adams, I'm not saying I don't draft Adams from time to time. And I really do like Adams in best ball, because you don't necessarily have to have him. He can miss games and it's optimal scoring. He could get hurt in the middle of a game and you have another wide receiver that scores him. He gets inserted automatically. Your best lineup is set for you every week. But in non-best ball, I don't think I'm drafting Adams at all. So it just kind of tells you that there's a level of confidence that he can have spike weeks and have a lot of them. And there's a level of confidence that, remember Diggs when he was traded out of Buffalo? His first 8 games, he was a top 3 wide receiver, I believe. Top 3 or 4 wide receiver through 8 games. And then from midseason on, he was one of the worst top 30 wide receivers you could find.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he did get hurt, but like that, and I'm not trying to compare exact situations because, some people still think he has something left. But that's the kind of drop-off Adams could have, even if on the field.
Yeah, it was the year before with Diggs. He was a top 3 wide receiver, and then for the Bills. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for the Bills. Hold on 1 second. Let me. And I'm not trying to compare. I'm not trying to compare the way they dropped off or that Diggs does. I'm just trying to say that's the kind of season. If you look at one season's completely different than the other. If you divide the season in half, it's first half of the season is top 5. Adams could do that. If Adams is wide receiver 3 through 5 games, it would not shock me. And I don't think I'm coming in here going, never mind, he's going to do it till December. I think we'll be coming in here going, look, this is what we expected. Adams being a top 5 wide receiver, I'm not saying I expect that, but if he is, we're not shocked at all. He can 100% be a top 5, top 10 wide receiver through half of the season. But I'll be telling everybody and their mother to sell him off by double-digit weeks. 10, and the reason 10 is always the sweet spot right before week 10 is that's when the season wears on a player, a veteran, a young guy, doesn't matter. Rookie wall gets hit around week 10, 11, 12. Players drop off that are older when they're able to muster up one more year, they think, and they play really well, and then they drop off. Mixon dropped off. Kamara kind of plateaued last year. BBQ is the only person I know of that doesn't plateau. He comes in swinging every single time.
Mashed potatoes!
And BBQ dropping his $20 holler, and he says, what does BBQ say? Where is that? Where was that? What screen was that on? Maybe I was on this one. I don't know where I was. I'll have to grab it again. Hold on. BBQ said this. He said, you know what grinds my gear, Smitty? Steelers wouldn't build the offense around Fields. Now they turn to Rodgers for 1 year, a 1-year rental, and are going to build the offense for him. Guess it is time for A-Rod wide receiver friends watch. Yeah, for sure. They already called Lazard. We had a lot of people joking about that. And immediately we heard word that Lazard got the phone call. and it makes me mad too that Tomlin didn't use mother freaking 50 gifted memberships by BBQ. Good Lord.
Let him cook.
If you got a gifted membership from BBQ, please let him know that you're grateful, eternally grateful. But yeah, I look, BBQ. I'm as mad as you. I came out swinging all off season and swinging all season for Tomlin, saying how do you not give this man the keys to the lineup? He goes 4-2. I think it's 4-2 as a starter. Playoff teams. He played playoff teams too. This is a quarterback in Fields that was not given a shot. Wasn't given a shot in hell. I mean, what a debacle, what a disgrace. Tomlin alone should be fired for that simple a misstep. It was such a misstep. Thank you, BBQ, for the $20 hauler and the 50 gifted memberships. Again, if you got a gifted membership from BBQ, please let him know you're grateful in the chat. He is the man, the myth, the legend. We got Sean with the super chat. We got Matt with the super chat. Sean says, hey, Smitty, 10-man Superflex Dynasty trade. CJ Stroud for Hunter. I have JD5 Fields and Milton. Smash it. I would. I know a lot of people might not. They might think Stroud is going to bounce back. I just don't know what to think of him. And while I'm not writing him off entirely, I certainly don't think he's going to fail out of the league. You know, Baker didn't fail out of the league. He just lingered around. But is Stroud going to get another contract? Probably. I think he's kind of like Trevor Lawrence. They're going to give him a lot of time. And I don't think he even fell off like Trevor Lawrence felt like he kind of fell off. So I think there's still a lot of opportunity for Stroud to rebound. But if you've got JD5, you've got Fields, you've got Milton, you can still kind of QB hunt. I'm taking Hunter. I love Hunter. I think he's a huge difference maker. If it's me, I would definitely take Hunter. But I know that's not what everybody would do. And I also know that in a startup draft, you might not see everybody react the same. You know, you might even see me try and let Hunter fall further. But the truth is, and Matt, I'm coming for your super chat next. The truth is, like, trading after the draft is over is not something you can just hold the draft values to all the players. You know, at some point you got to let go of the draft values and say this is now the reality of the situation. Just like in a 1 QB draft, you might take Josh Allen in the 3rd round or JD5 in the 3rd round, but try trading for JD5 after the draft is over. I dare you. Try and give up somebody that you drafted at 15, 18, 17 overall. There's no way the person that took JD5 in the 3rd round is trading you JD5 for that player. It's going to require a Puka or somebody of that level to get JD5 or to get Josh Allen or to get even a Lamar to a degree, because that tells you that quarterbacks are of value on draft day. That tells you people are missing the boat. The industry has driven the quarterback value down so far. You drive a quarterback off the lot, unlike a vehicle, it goes up in value the moment you drive it off the lot. So, you know, so I understand that Stroud feels like you're going to draft him ahead of Hunter, but I feel like Hunter is just a unicorn. Go get Hunter, my boy. Go do it and do it live. And Matt, last super chat, then back to the phone lines. Super chats will be answered immediately, so if you drop one, I'll answer it right away. Picking Igbuka, maybe Evans if still there. This is Maddie from the phone line. Picking Igbuka and then Evans at the next pick. Yeah, I like that idea, bro. It really secures your RBs up. But Penix Jr. or Evans will be a struggle, I'll admit, in a super flex. I will definitely consider Penix Jr. over Evans. Igbuka I love, though. And you could get McMillan later with Igbuka, but I don't know. It depends on what wide receivers could fall as well. Travis, hang tight real quickly. Let me go to the 808 caller, then back to Travis. 808, you're live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Thank you.
Yo, Smitty, it's Benel calling from Hawaii.
From Hawaii, my boy. What's up? How is the
What's up, man?
The island? Aloha.
Aloha, man. It's good. It's good.
Good. What can I do for you, bro?
Well, I've been watching you since last year, so it's been great. So I had a question because my league is gonna change up the setup because we went from 14 to 10 full PPR. And the commissioner said he wants 3 wide receivers and 2 flexes in addition to the quarterback, 2 running backs, and a tight end.
Wait, can I ask you a question? I can already feel this commissioner. He just decided this himself. It wasn't like, hey, the league.
Well, he's gonna ask everyone in the league and then pretty much decide. But he's kind of like putting it out there, and everybody's kind of agreeing to it now.
It sounds like a changing the rules, Charlie. You know, where he's like, my team's very, very good for a super flex. Let's turn this into a super flex. I'm gonna order the pre-rank list to look like a redraft list, even though I know we're drafting Dynasty, because then some of my sleepers will fall. This sounds like a guy that needs to go to the Smitty boot camp for commissioners. But go ahead, hit me with it. Converting a league.
I just wanted to know, how would you draft in such a setup like that?
Okay. So you convert. So it's not a keeper league then? Or
no, it's not a keeper league. Well, no, it's not a dynasty. It's just a regular 10-man full PPR league.
Okay.
Yeah, redraft.
Maybe he's not as bad as I thought. Okay. So how would that change my approach? 10-man league?
10-man league, yeah.
Anybody drafting one QB? One QB 10-man, or is it super flex? He's still Charlie. I don't forgive him. Is it a 1 QB or 2 QB? Superflex?
2 QB.
Okay.
No, not Superflex.
Okay. Not Superflex. Mandatory 2 QB?
Yeah. Not mandatory.
So is it Superflex or not Superflex?
No, you don't have to have a second QB. You can have one if you want, but yeah.
Okay, so it is Superflex. That's Superflex. Mandatory QB is
it is Superflex? Okay.
Yeah, you have to have 2 QBs
Okay.
in mandatory. Superflex is where you don't need to. It's a super flex. It could be a running back, wide receiver, quarterback.
Got it.
But you're much more of an advantage to have a quarterback. Okay, so honestly, bro, 10-man league makes this kind of tough, because if it was a 1 QB league, I would for sure grab an early quarterback, and I'm still going to. But I mean, there's a huge advantage there because there's so much parity amongst all the other positions. The quarterback having like the big dog is going to help you. Do you know what pick you have?
No, I don't know yet. We're not ready to go. Yeah, we're not ready to go.
How much you want to bet your commissioner gets the 1 pick? How much you want to bet? 1.1. You call me back and you tell me I'm right when he has the 1.1. All right, he's gonna. And let me tell you this: the commissioner is going to run the draft order twice. I hate when people do that. Why do you people do that? Why does anybody run the draft order twice? It puts a stamp there if you're on Sleeper, it puts a stamp in the comments of this was run. You don't need to run it twice. Why do people run it twice? When someone runs it once and then runs it twice, it makes me feel like they don't like the results and they're just going to, we ran it twice. Why? Why do you need to run it twice? You're not shuffling a deck of cards. It's totally randomized. So, look, the bottom line is, bro, Superflex, go big time quarterback round 1 no matter what. And unless for some reason everybody from Mahomes up is gone. But Mahomes tends to fall to about 8-9. So hopefully you get you have at least an 80% chance of getting Mahomes or greater. So you're going to take Mahomes or greater. You want to take 85, obviously. Josh Allen, obviously. When you take that player, I'm very, very tempted in a 10-man league to even follow my normal plan of attack even more so, where return to normal drafting in rounds 2, 3, and 4, and just clean up while people are grabbing the middle-range mediocre Brock Purdy's and guys that don't belong to be in the second round. Go back to second, third, fourth round normal drafting. When you get to 4, entertain it. Like if Bo Nix were there for some reason or whatever, you want to grab that quarterback. I think Penix Jr. will be a nice safeguard for you. Justin Fields, Dak Prescott. I believe you'll get one of those guys in 4, preferably 5. If you're converting, is this a super flex for the first time or was it a super flex before?
I think it's going to be super flex for the first time.
Yeah, it sounds like this commissioner, bro. This commissioner, I can read it like a book. It's so easy. I feel like the mentalist right now. I can predict this guy. I know exactly what he's up to. Exactly. And so you're going to have people not drafting early quarterback a little more so than a normal super flex because no one's used to it, bro. So you really got to play this out. You got to play it out. You got to play it out in a real careful fashion. But the way I've always told people, the way you do this, bro, is cover up round 1, look at round 2, make sure your round 2 selection is somebody you would have drafted in round 1 in a 1 QB draft. So you're going to want a Bijan, a Gibbs, a Neighbor, someone like that. If you're not taking that player in the second round, you're not in line with where you should be. Round 3, you're going to cover up round 1 still. Round 3 should be a player that you normally grab in round 2. Round 4 is a player you normally grab in round 3. That's kind of like your answer key of whether you're going in the right direction. But feel out the quarterbacks. I have a feeling that guys won't know when to take them, and you'll get a Dak or a Penix in round 4 or 5. So just keep an eye on that. That's my approach. Yeah. Quarterback early, and then go back to normal drafting, and then quarterback when you feel they're rising up and you're going to get snagged and not be able to do it. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Smitty.
All right, call back. Another one.
Hello.
All right, Travis, you're live.
Hey, yeah, on Chubb, I saw someone was asking about possibly picking him up. Would you rather have Chubb or Tyjae Spears right now, or is it like a coin flip for you?
Probably Spears, because his involvement in the receiving game. Chubb, you don't know what's up. I mean, he's the number 2. You know, at best, he's the number 2.
Right.
Probably will be the number 2, but Mixon did fall off. It's hard to say. I mean, they're both. Chubb's older too, though. Chubb looked like a lineman out there running the other day. I'm not saying he doesn't look better today than he did 2 or 3 weeks ago, but there's that footage of him jumping up in the gym, and everyone, including me, was like, "Wow, that's pretty impressive." But it's not cutting. He goes out onto the field, and he looks slow as molasses, and he looked very, very like hefty. And he wasn't cutting strong or cutting, but he's still getting, his groove back. But he's got a lot of time, so there's that. But I don't know, man. I guess I would say touchdown heavy leagues, give me Chubb, I suppose. In PPR, give me Tyjae.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. Tyjae's younger. I mean, we don't know if Pollard will keep doing what he's doing. He's been solid, but then on the other hand, like you said, Mixon's banged up. I think Dameon Pierce is banged up. Not that it really matters. So,
yeah, your commissioner ran it 5 times, John. Jeez, your commissioner knows nothing, John Snow. Jeez.
It says ran it 5 times, and commissioner got the first pick. That's weird.
Yeah, run it again.
So he ran it until he got the first pick.
Run it again. Oh, number 1. What is someone's explanation for running it twice, let alone 5 times? I would love to hear it. It's not like a deck of cards where you shuffle it 3 times to get it more out of order. It is a randomization. Running it a second time is cheating.
They think it shows it's not rigged. But it's
How?
Like,
How?
If someone wants to rig something, you can rig it.
Redoing something that shows a randomization is rigged. If you're a commissioner that runs it twice or more, you need to dial in and defend your people, because this is absolutely asinine. Running it 10 times is the way. You would do that, Jolts. You would. Just like you said a minute ago, Brock Purdy would be a good pick for this poor guy who's trying to get good advice on this channel to draft right now in round 7. And we're talking Penix, we're talking Ekbuka, and you type in, I see everything, Jolts, I saw it. You said Purdy would be a spicy pick. What advice are you trying to give the guy? You trying to tank his dynasty from the jump? You would run it 10 times, Jolt. You would. I could see you running the pick order 10 times. Give me your explanation. I mean, good God. Anything news related? What about Marvin Harrison Jr.? What are you thinking about? This picture is crazy, bro. He looks twice as strong as he was last year. This is going to be a problem. And this third round value, his third round value. What is anybody waiting on? Can someone tell me that? No one's called in yet. Anybody that hates Marvin Harrison Jr. this year, please call in and tell me what it is that we should even be remotely concerned about from third round cost of entry. And don't say, well, Kyler's my concern. Kyler's concern that is built into this ADP. No one's drafting him at 11 or 12 overall again. He's being grabbed in round 3. So I repeat, don't use Kyler as a concern. Kyler made him 808, and 3 missed throws could have turned him into a 1,000-yard, 9, 10, 11 wide receiver. So I would love to know.
That's why I never wavered. Like, I mean, obviously you understand he was, either slow to catch on, took him a little while, but Kyler didn't play well. Also, the plays they called for him and the way they used him was poor last year. So put all those things together, and he still manages 808. I think there's only been like 8 or 10 receivers that have ever had 808 in a rookie season. That is it. So it's not like he had a bad year.
Right.
He disappointed for fantasy ADP.
I mean, eight touchdowns is still good for anybody. BBQ $10 holler says, have you ever considered selling a deck of cards with Scared Scotty, Petrified Peter, Repeating Roger, and the rest of your epic names on cards? No, I could look into it. Denny would be good. Gump would be the Joker. The Gump card.
For sure.
The Gump card. We haven't heard from Gump on this show so far.
I heard from Denny for a while.
Yeah, Denny. Yeah, I don't know. He called in the other day, but he calls in after hours. Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt running backs coach Anthony Lynn considers him a grade, an A running back. An A running back is the terminology there is that they can be an every down back. It's not like they're a back that needs to split a backfield. He literally said he's bigger than he thought, stronger than he thought, and that he's an A running back and could be the team's lead workhorse. However, he still has to pass. Just like, we get a little bit excited and not necessarily in a wrong way, because sometimes it works out very well for us, but liking Ben Sinnott, if we're going to use Washington as an example, loving Ben Sinnott's skill set did not put Ben Sinnott into the lineup last year. So there's a world where Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt, doesn't get into the lineup all year, or it takes him an injury and an injury takes 10 weeks, or maybe he takes the job outright by week 4. All those scenarios could be at play, but it sounds really good coming out of Washington. And when you watch his film, he reminds me of, I'm trying to think of the comp that I had for him the other day. It was, he's kind of like almost like a Cadillac Williams, if you remember him, but I'm trying to think of another running back that he reminds me. They say Alfred Morris over in Washington. That's what the fan base compares Bill to, Little Bill. But I feel like I'm trying to pinpoint a running back. Kind of an upright style at times, but a really, really good RB. Very crafty, very shifty. And for those that don't remember, there was a red shirt debacle. And I think, Travis, you said this on the Patreon once. Anybody wants to join the Patreon, we are on the Patreon 365 24/7. If anybody wants to join the Patreon, click this link right here and join the Patreon. I am on there. Travis is on there. It's a 365 24/7 live chat group. $10 a month, cancel anytime. Try it for 1 month for $10. If you don't like it, cancel it. Or if you want to cancel it in the off season and then kick it into gear in August. And we're in the game day chat. Everybody's crowded into this one chat room called the Game Day Lounge. And it basically is, it's basically where we hang out and congregate during games. And so everyone's in there and they're
all day long.
Yeah. And I created a start bench chat, but I forgot that we put that in the Game Day Lounge. I got to delete that one now. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, in the Game Day Lounge, or not the Game Day Lounge chat, in the Patreon chat, I think I remember you saying this, but during the pandemic situation, a lot of running backs ended up playing an extra year, and you had a throwaway year, and so Krosky, Merritt got caught up kind of in that, and then there's the red shirting. So there was a red shirt debacle where his team, I believe, was trying to say one thing when the record showed another, and he's probably just caught in the middle, like, my team's going to work on this and figure it out. They're going to declare me as this or whatever. It's out of my hands. And it ended up being that he ended up not being eligible anymore to play after one game. And the one game should have never happened at Arizona. He transferred to Arizona. He was at Arizona. He played one game. He was amazing. I think he had 80 yards and a touchdown. He looked phenomenal in the game. And then after the game, the one game played at Arizona his last year, this past season, they came out, NCAA said, you no longer can play. You shouldn't even play that game because you're not eligible because of a paperwork, situation, the way that they said that he would be eligible, not be eligible. He would have entered the draft if he knew he wasn't eligible. So it wasn't on him. He played very well in that game, and he basically didn't get to play the rest of the year. So his value tanked. A team like the Commanders, a GM like Adam Peters could see through the noise, and there's a good chance he would have been in the mix of a top 5-6 ranked running back if he had played a full year.
Yeah. A guy like him or a guy like Giddens, those two come to mind. They would have been like 3rd-round picks, 4th-round picks at the worst if it wasn't for all these extra guys in the draft this year from the pandemic and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Giddens is a nice player. We talked about Giddens on the Waiver Wire show, so make sure you get on over to the Waiver Wire show. It is up. Watch it after this one ends. We'll probably be back tonight to draft. So in between shows, watch this one if you missed it. At least watch the beginning part of it because we do the Waiver Wire, the preemptive Week 1 Waiver Wire. Why would you do a Waiver Wire this early, Smitty? So that you can be on top of this stuff. Know what to look for. You're going to have drafts where you can draft some of these guys. So you're essentially trying to outsmart the Week 1 Waiver Wire rush. So that's why. And so we did RBs, and this will change. This is preemptive 1 show. We'll probably do another preemptive, couple of shows. This is just episode 1 RBs. Then we'll do an episode 1 wide receivers, episode 1 quarterbacks, episode 1 tight ends. And I imagine we do at least one more preemptive running back, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end, or maybe do 2 all-encompassing videos after I go through each one individually. But yeah, this is the list. My favorites on this list are Krosky, Merritt, Brashard Smith, Dylan Sampson, Ray Davis. They're all of my favorite. I'm just reading it off. Hunter Giddens, Mitchell. I think once I get to Jalen Wright, though, this does feel like a hard tier break. Jalen Wright, Mitchell, Giddens, Hunter, Sampson, Brashard Smith, Ray Davis, Krosky, Merritt. And there really is a nice little tier break from Monungai, Brooks, Lloyd, Dobbins, Tucker, Roshan, Jordan James, Ollie Gordon, Chubb, and Marks. It really feels like a divide to me. But Giddens is nice. He really is. And given the injury, injury-prone JT, and then the fact that who knows what that team's going to look like now. The AR5 might even be needing surgery again. That's not confirmed or anything, but he's seeing a second opinion from a surgeon.
And when it comes, I know from baseball, but with football too, when it comes to throwing and shoulders don't heal on their own. Shoulders are worse than elbows now when it comes to throwing.
Yeah.
So I'd put money on it. There's a surgery coming at some point.
BBQ has a good comment here. Did you cover the news on the Jets running backs being a 3-headed monster? Thoughts? Just smoke or concern? I mean, they've said this before. We've covered it before. There's nothing concerning here. They're going to run the ball more. And again, this comes down to a division of carries. If they're going to run the ball 450 times, let's say, you only want Breece Hall getting 200 to 220 carries. So you're talking about probably around 50 exact % of their entire carry workload is the most you want Breece Hall getting. So that's kind of like crazy when you think about it. That let's say he gets 200 or 210 or whatever. That's what you want him at. You want him catching 70 passes, 65 passes, whatever. In a bad year, 60 passes. In a great year, 75, 80. Breece Hall is capable of being an 80 reception running back in this league. And people that think Justin Fields doesn't like checking down to the RB, check last year's stats because he did it almost more than anybody last year. But he also, you think back to that preseason where we thought Fields was going to go crazy in Chicago after the year where Poles ripped the meat off the bone and made Fields play with nothing but a stripped down receiver core, and Fields ran for 1,100 yards and he had no receivers to throw to. He was throwing to janitors and he got hurt his knee. Poles was a moron for that. And then Poles finally gets him DJ Moore and Herbert was looking like a breakout, and Fields went on the field in the preseason and threw 2 screen passes at or behind the line of scrimmage. 2 short passes, one to Khalil Herbert. He took it 50-plus yards for a touchdown. The next play, I forget which one scored first, but the next play, he threw it to the other, DJ Moore or Khalil Herbert. They both scored on 50-plus yard touchdown receptions that were essentially little tiny screen passes right at the line of scrimmage or to the running back. And so Fields does know how to check down. Fields does know how to throw. And so Breece Hall's very capable of catching 60 to 70 balls from Fields, and you only want him running 20 times. So, yes, they're going to have a committee, but it's a productive committee for a player that you want playing 50% wide receiver, 50% RB in a sense, or 50% reception work. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it. Breece Hall should have a really, really good year, especially at the cost of entry. Like, I think if he disappoints, probably still earns your 4th-round value. His ADP is 4.1. Would I buy him at top 12 value? No. Just like even though I'm the biggest Bucky supporter you could find, if his ADP climbed to 2 overall, I wouldn't take Bucky. You know, don't tell Bucky that. And I hate even saying that. But the point is, Breece Hall is going at 4.1. He's no longer going at 12 overall, 8 overall. Marvin Harrison Jr., same thing. He's going in the middle of the 3rd round, late 3rd round. He's not going 12 or 11 or 10 overall anymore. The risk is baked into Breece Hall. It's baked into MHJ. Easy peasy. No way around it. And BBQ says, have you ever... Oh, this is the other one. All right, Travis, what do you think on the Jet situation?
I pretty much agree with you. Like, I mean, Hall is the lead back. He's the best back they have, I think, by far. But I think basically what they're going to do is, like, as long as Isaiah Davis, is that his name, the 3rd one?
Yeah.
If he looks good, I think there'll be games where, you know, Allen gets 10 or 12 carries. Sometimes he'll get 10 or 12 carries. I guess the only negative could be once in a while, you know, depending on the flow of the game, it might be hard to predict consistency, but I don't see it being a problem game to game, you know.
Yeah.
I just can't see either of them overcoming Breece.
I mean,
keep healthy and
keep in mind how good Breece Hall is. Like, you give Breece Hall the ball, and he delivers. You know, he delivers. I don't want to say every time, but I mean, and not to mention this team.
Go away from that.
Yeah, this team last year was awful. You know, so I think Fields will make it good, and I think Fields will check down quite a bit to Breece Hall.
It's going to look so much different from last year, where you had Rodgers coming off an Achilles, so he wasn't moving around much at all. Not that he moves a ton, he can scramble, but you're going to have Fields in there. And then people think back to, you know, last year with Fields, he played 4 games and he was decent. He wasn't overly dynamic, but he was held back by that system, and he only had 4 games to get going. You know, you're going to have him, you know, with confidence, the whole team and coaching staff behind him. They're going to play to his strengths, I think, you know, more than sticking him into a Russell Wilson system. So it's, I mean, pretty much everything from last year I kind of throw out on both ends.
Yeah. I like Hall a lot. I'm not drafting him in every league, and honestly, I'd rather have Harvey than Breece Hall. I'd probably rather have Hendy in some cases over Breece Hall, but I mix that one up. And that kind of tells you how much I like Harvey in redraft when I'm saying it that way. Like, I want Harvey over Hall, but I sometimes want Hendy over Hall. It kind of reveals the pecking order of the Hendy-Harvey debate. But then all I got to do is watch some Harvey film, and we're awaiting some Harvey buzz from camp or from practice. And when we get that, we'll be right back, I think, to where Harvey and Hendy are just debated all offseason long. But I'd rather have Travis Hunter in some respects over Hall. So, I mean, it's not like I'm overvaluing Hall, or I'm not packaging in some disappointment, you know, expectation by not getting him in every league, because the Jets are, you know, they've been disappointing us for years. And I know it's a different regime, but I can't help, and you can't help, I'm sure all of you, to feel a little bit of apprehension. I mean, at least Garrett Wilson's been delivering, and I think Fields will deliver. There is a little bit of skepticism, but I think it's gotten out of hand. And I think when Hall's going in the 4th round, there's little to no risk. The only reason I'm not taking Hall every time is because I think the same thing about Harvey in round 4, but even better. You know, I think the same thing about Hunter in round 4, but even more so. And I think the same thing about Hendy. Probably will think more about it than Hall. That's the only difference. It's not that I don't like Breece Hall. If I liked him as much as I'm saying I'd take him every time, it's because the 4th and 3rd round are filled with monsters that are sleeping giants. And I could just sit here and draft Harvey and Hendy and Hunter all day long. So that's the only reason why Hall is not on every one of my rosters. But Hall, how does Hall not get you 4.1 value? Is he not going to get you 1,000 total yards and 7 touchdowns and maybe 50 receptions? Because that will earn you 4th round value. You know, a disappointing year out of Hall is going to earn you 4th round value. When people say, I don't think he could be a top 5 running back this year, who's drafting him as a top 5 running back? Last I checked, he was going 4.1, Bob. Doesn't mean
That's
H.
a good point, too.
It doesn't mean we don't like Triple H and Associates more, though.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
I mean, that just hits just right. Anything else, Travis? I'll be back tonight. We'll be drafting.
No, I was just gonna say on McLaurin. Like you said, it's like 90% whatever that he's gonna stay because one, I mean, they're just starting to turn into a winning team. Like it's one of his better chances to win a Super Bowl, sticking with that team. And two, he suffered through how many years with no QB?
Yeah.
And then he gets JD5. You're not walking away from that.
Nope.
And he's JD5's guy, you know?
No one's walking.
Rookie year, he's comfortable with him.
And also,
you don't run away from that.
Also, I'll say this. This whole Deebo Samuel got locked down in practice today. Everybody was reporting on that, especially Niner fans are like rejoicing, like, hey, see, Deebo's getting locked down. Deebo got locked down in practice. Good. You know, if there is anything Deebo needs to work on is you know, breaking free of real tight coverage and getting off the line and creating separation. And I'm glad he's going up against stiff competition so that he improves upon that skill. I'm not even worried. This is a guy that you do a lot of design plays for. And Deebo Samuel's catching the ball with no defenders around him about 50, 60% of the time. But I'm glad he's working on this. But it doesn't mean, so what if you got your defense? I'm excited about the Commander defense. You know, I'm just excited about them taking a big step forward. Who says you got to dominate your defense over and over and over? Like, this is going to happen. You know, and I watched some of the plays. It was tight coverage. Like, he didn't get the ball. The ball got thrown, and he was, you know, mixing up hands with his defenders. That's great. I like seeing it. I like Deebo having to work on that. I think Deebo is going to be a steal. Deebo to the moon. I hope this lowers Deebo's value. I hope he falls to the bottom of 6th or the 7th round off of this nonsense.
We got JD5 and Achane haters saying they're going to get injured.
Who?
I haven't seen them for a while.
We got an Achane hater in here?
Oh, the Achane guy just said we better get right for when Achane gets injured.
Oh, the
guy says he's. Yeah, exactly. Selling JD5 because he's getting injured.
Oh, JD5's getting injured too? Okay.
Yeah. Two different people, but we haven't seen those haters in the chat for a while.
Jon Snow, I'm selling JD5 getting injured. Okay, bro. That's unfortunate for you.
Come back and take a lap.
Yeah, here you go.
Take a big lap.
You've just been Smitty disapproved. Wrong. Muy mal.
Unbelievable. Like, and again, this goes out to the JD5 and Achane haters, just so you know. I'm trying to err on the side of you actually knowing ball. There's only two things that are happening. You're either so blinded by fandom, which is fine and understandable. You know, you got goggles on the stick for your team. You know, you got a rival, you know, favorite team's a rival. I get it. Okay, so you got goggles to the stick, you can't see straight. I don't blame you. But the only other alternative, if that's not the case, is that you don't know ball. You don't know. You literally don't know ball. I hope for your case you are drowning in fandom on the Achane and JD5 hate. I hope so. Let me take this one call and then we'll get out of here. You are live. Is this TD?
Yes, sir, Smitty.
What's up, TD? What kind of asinine thing you want to throw at me tonight?
all right.
That seems to be what you want to do every time you call me. Say something like outrageous, bro. But go ahead. We're listening. For now.
No. I have a trade update. I just managed to pull off a trade. I want to know what you think.
All right, go
ahead. I got Igbuka and a 2026 second. I sent away Darnell Mooney and a 2026 first.
Mooney and a 26 first for Igbuka, and what else?
A 2026 second. So I moved down around, and I got Igbuka for Mooney, essentially, next year.
Yeah, I mean, it depends where the pick is, obviously, but if you think it's going to be a late pick, then yeah, I mean, I drafted Igbuka in round 1, so it's not a big deal at all. I think Mooney's pretty good, though. It's not a bad value. This guy did well if he's not necessarily ready to win now. But yeah, I mean, Igbuka's a first rounder, so I'm not worried about that. I've tried to offer up the world for Igbuka. I gave up more than this in a couple offers in a league, and people just aren't biting on any trades, whenever I'm involved, because they see I wear
they know what you're talking about
on my sleeve. Well, it's not just that. I'm not trying to claim that. Like, obviously, a lot of people will, when I'm in a league with them, they'll take, he says this, so obviously I'm not going to trade that player. If he says Igbuka is going to be amazing, I'm not going to trade Igbuka. And there's that part of that, and I'm not always right, so I'm not trying to claim that. But then there's also the part that I wear everything on my forehead, all players I like, dislike. Yeah. So like, I have no advantage in a trade. I can't be like, he's all right. They're like, bro, you've been talking about Hunter all day long. Like, you can't pull one over on me. So I can't really make a lot of good trades in leagues that I do with followers, because we have a couple follower dynasty leagues that I started early on. We do have the official Dynasty League of the show coming up here, so get ready for that draft sometime. We'll probably do that one sooner than the Moon Man, Mars Man, Jupiter Men, or Pluto League. Anything else, bro?
Is that the one that's in the Patreon? Is that the one that's in the Patreon? I thought that was a keeper league. Am I mistaken?
Well, no, the stuff I'm talking about, I haven't posted any links or anything.
Oh, okay.
That's
no
people
worries.
creating man.
Yeah, sounds good. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Later, TD. Appreciate you later. Okay. Oh, man. Travis, call back in. I'm sorry. Call back in real quick. I hung up on. I do that sometimes. I hang up on the whole call. I'm out of here. Travis will probably call in real quickly if he's got anything else, or if you don't, Travis, I'll see you tonight. And thank you to my mods, DeBalt, Space Ricky, Sick Nasty, Blackbeard, Travis, Vampy, Kenny Powers, Terry Roberts, if you're out there. Appreciate you all. I assume Travis is good. Travis, call. Yeah, okay. Yeah, call in tonight if we go live tonight. I'm pretty sure we will. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Triple H and Associates at your service.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA select start.
Warning. Cheat code activated.
Don't forget to get on over to the Patreon. I'll get in the Patreon right now. So if anybody wants to continue the conversation over there, hit this link right here. It is $10. Cancel anytime. So try it out for a month. If you don't like it, cancel it. But you're going to like it because it's 365, 24/7 live chatting. I just dropped that link in the live chat. I'll pin the link right now on the way out the door. We'll be drafting tonight. If anybody wants to draft with us tonight, make sure you hit. Let me pin this link here. This is for the Patreon. There it is. And if you want to draft tonight on Underdog, promo code Smitty will match your first deposit, 50%, all the way up to $1,000. So if you do the minimum of $10, they'll give you $5 and you'll have 15. If you do $20, they'll give you 10. You do 100, they'll give you 50. You do 1,000, they'll give you 500. If you do 2,000, they'll give you 1,000, all the way up to $1,000. So make sure you sign up and get ready. No matter what, you got to be ready to go. So hit that link that I just dropped. Code Smitty gets it done as well if you just download the app, but the link inserts Code Smitty for you. So jump in, appreciate you, and we'll see you tonight for a draft. Deuces. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Also, additionally, live whenever big news breaks. And additionally, live midnight Easterns, most midnights. See you tonight.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.